dancing like I'm Harley, I'm Superman. I got a queen with me, she Harley, I'm Superman. I got them glasses on, I'm gnarly, I'm Superman. I might just step up in the party, I'm Superman. I got the dancing like I'm Harley, I'm Superman. I got a queen with me, she Harley, I'm Superman. I got them glasses on, I'm gnarly, I'm Superman. I might just step up in the party, I'm Superman. I got the dancing like I'm Harley, I'm Superman. I got a queen with me, she Harley, I'm Superman. I got them glasses on, I'm gnarly, I'm Superman. I might just step up in the party, I'm Superman. I got the dancing like I'm Harley, I'm Superman. I got a queen with me, she Harley, I'm Superman. I got them glasses on, I'm gnarly, I'm Superman. I might just step up in the party, I'm Superman. I got the dancing like I'm Harley, I'm Superman. I got a queen with me, she Harley, I'm Superman. I got them glasses on, I'm gnarly, I'm Superman. I might just step up in the party, I'm Superman. I got the dancing like I'm Harley, I'm Superman. I got a queen with me, she Harley.
Yo, what's good? Shout out to everybody that's coming through. I really appreciate y'all. For the people that's hitting the thumbs up, for the people that don't hit the thumbs up, even though the people that, that come through and watch in the background. Shout out to those folks there. Tonight we're gonna be doing justice for Zykereya Robinson, and Fanny's gonna be leading that story, and so we're gonna get straight into it. She's gonna come up, we're gonna get straight into it. I hope everybody's having a wonderful night or day, depending on the timing it is where you may be.
15.
Drop down in the chat what type of day you had, 1 through 10. Fanny, how you doing tonight? You got your microphone and everything on point tonight?
I'm good. Everything good.
All right, she got it on point. That's what's up. First of all, before we get into the topic, how was your day?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You good?
Okay.
You straight?
Yeah, I'm straight. I just had some feedback. I corrected it real quick.
All right, before we get into this topic, how was your day today?
It was pretty good. Been working, staying busy. You know how I do.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into after the podcast, we kind of will give announcements on what we got coming up, what we've been working on, or whatever. And so I'm gonna step back, mute the mic, and I'm gonna let you start this off and let everybody know what we got in our hands, the situation we got in our hands. And also, did you end up watching the link I sent you last night through the comments?
Yes, that.
Okay, because I didn't watch that yet, and I really probably couldn't, because that's the situation.
I don't recommend that you watch it.
Yeah, I seen the title and I was like, yo, that'd be hella flashbacks for me. I probably wouldn't even be able to go to sleep.
I wasn't able to go to sleep until like 7 or 8 o'clock this morning, and then the kids had gotten up, so I really haven't slept. So I apologize if I sound a little tired. That story really disturbed me. It really hit home, and these stories about these children are really tragic. And before we get into it, I just want to give a disclaimer by saying if you are triggered by this story I'm going to relay to you, I recommend that you just click off this video, because this story may not be for you. And the purpose for this video is to educate and also give you tips on how to be cautious of the people that you bring around your children, especially if you're dating someone, whether it be the father of your child, the mother of your child, whoever that person may be. So, again, this is for educational purposes only. And if you are triggered in any way, I recommend that you turn this video off because this video may not be for you. And also, I'm going to be speaking from a standpoint that I also know what it feels like to lose a child because I myself have lost a child, but not under these circumstances. So I want to say thank you to everybody that's in the chat. Um, Thank you for being here, Slim Shell, Didi, Leonica. I can't see who else. Anybody else will come through. Thank you for the replay game. Thank you for everybody who's here tonight. Thank you, TSM, as well. And let's get into it.
Yeah,
The story.
I wanted to say real quick. Yeah, definitely shout out to the people that's in the chat because without y'all, the awareness would not be raised. Without y'all ears, without y'all being here to hear about this situation, awareness would not be raised. And also shout out to Reverb Nation. I got Reverb Nation. Everybody watching from the Reverb Nation platform. We got 16 on Reverb Nation, and we got the folks on YouTube. And so, with that being said, man, we're gonna dive. Like I said, we're gonna dive straight into it. Fanny gonna, give y'all her takeaway. Not, I'm gonna be off her. So let's get it. Let's get it, Fanny.
Shout out to Reverb Nation. I apologize to you guys because I know y'all some heavy hitters over there, and shout out to y'all as well. The title of this story is called The Tragic Story of Zykereya Robinson. Zykereya Robinson was a 5-year-old girl out of Jacksonville, Florida. And Zykereya had an older sister, and I'm not sure what her name is because they didn't mention her name in the news clip. And Zykereya had a mom by the name of Michelle Kilmore. I think that's what her last name was. And she was dating a man by the name of Jawante Harris. Jawante Harris was not the father of Michelle's two children, and he had an issue with the 5-year-old. He really didn't like this 5-year-old, and the mother was aware of his feeling towards her daughter. Keep in mind, she's only 5 years old. They were dating. They were not married. Not to say that that makes a difference because it don't. This was a dating situation. The mother was aware of her child being abused by her boyfriend. The boyfriend was beating on her daughter so bad that the mother pulled her out of school because she did not want the school to get involved and report the abuse. Not only did she pull
Yo, hold
Zakiria
up,
out,
hold up, hold up. So the mom knew this stuff was taking place.
yes, the mom knew that the boyfriend was abusing her daughter, and she removed her daughter out of school because she didn't want the school to report the abuse.
That was gonna. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off. That was gonna be my next question for you. Because I just studied the case. You actually watched the video. Now, what state? Okay, what state that they're in to where this stuff wasn't even picked up by the school in the first place? Does that worry you that the school didn't even pick up this, like such as things such as bruising or anything like that?
Well, this happened out of Jacksonville, Florida. The abuse that was inflicting on the girl, you couldn't see her wounds because he didn't hit her in her face. It was more like her body where she was covered up. But the mother pulled her out of school because she was concerned about, I guess, her daughter telling the school what was taking place at home. So before the 5-year-old can do that, the mother pulled both children out of school. Also, Jawante Harris, um, he beat the girl so bad that one day she he got so angry that he beat her about her head to where she was left unconscious. The mother was there when this occurred. The mother didn't do anything. She didn't call for help. She didn't intervene. they just laid the little girl down on the couch, and the mother went off to go to work. Well, she got a phone call from Javante.
Hold on. Before you get there,
Okay.
because there was certain parts I was reading that didn't make any sense to me, and I think those parts right there is very important to
Okay.
just kind of for the people to know how grown men actually think. Now I may be wrong, it may be another case. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
I was reading up on where the boyfriend or the stepdad of this little baby, the I read a part to where he accused that little girl, the one who life he took. He accused that little girl of inappropriate touching his little baby or something like that.
No, you must got that mixed with a different story. No, that wasn't this story.
So okay, so there was not a part in there where the guy came back or the he put the little girl out. Then they say something about he put her out. He was so upset that he put zykereya out the house.
Yes, he put her out the house
And
because
when he told her to come back in, he hit her in the head. Am I correct?
yeah, yes, he
Okay,
beat
so
her.
this is the same story. I just think maybe you just probably didn't catch that particular
Okay.
part.
I might have
Okay.
missed that part because the part that really was disturbing to me is the fact that when the mother pulled the children out of school, how she was just making excuses for this man. And that really bothered me and disturbed me because it's like, as a mother, you carry this baby in your body for 9 months if it's a full-term child. And for you to carry this child, this innocent being in your body for 9 months and basically allow an outsider to come in and not only destroy your household, but to destroy the life of your children. Because, and this is the one thing I want to say, and I know a lot of people going to get upset with me, but it has to be said. It really has to be said. Sometimes we teach our children the big bad wolf are people that are outsiders. The truth of the matter is the big bad wolf lives in our home. And a lot of times these mothers and fathers, they bring people in their children's lives that they really don't even know that well themselves. And they will put that person above their own children because they're selfish. I know I've heard stories about maybe there's a mental illness or there's some type of addiction or whatever. And let's not allow that to be the norm where children's lives are being taken at an all record high because, you know, mothers and fathers are putting their needs and their desires above their very own children. And for somebody to come in and take the life of your child and you witnessed it and then you leave and you go to work, you didn't call, you didn't run to a neighbor's house. She had the opportunity to say, "Hey, this man hurt my child." But she went to work. And before she went to work, she went to a 7-Eleven.
Yeah, this is my thing with that, right? Because I know parents, right? I had like cousins and aunties, right? And I know parents like their kids would be like full grown, like 23, 24. And like maybe the boyfriend they get into it with the son, and the mom would be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm choosing my man, like you grown, you can't come to my house think, okay, that's probably cool in some sense. But me, when these children are babies and can't fend for themselves and you bringing an outsider in to come and amplify on their life. And my thing is, where was the father? And it's like, yo, it's scary. It's almost scary for me to hear that my children was in the custody of their mother and another man taking the life away from my children. It already be issues within motherhood and fatherhood when you got the stepdads whooping on the kids, then you got the daddy who don't agree, so that caused conflict. Yet alone, you got a grown man that took the life of your child. That can turn a straight man into a criminal right there. This guy could have been going to church his whole life, working a 9 to 5 his whole life, ain't never been to jail. Then here comes somebody, some fool, to take his daughter's life. And you gotta imagine what that man thinking. Ain't no way you can think positive. You know how people say, calm down, think positive, just pray. You can't tell somebody that when it's not your child that's been taken from at the hands of another man or even another woman, ladies. So just the devastating impact behind that statement alone. That statement alone is treacherous. So yeah, Fanny, I just that part right there, it really kind of irks me that this wasn't even your child. You know, we got parents that's doing crazy stuff to their own kids. I guess some say, I brought you in this world, I can take you out. Okay, fine. You brought them in, you can take them out. That's wrong. But if it's not your child, that's BS. Go ahead, Fanny.
But at the same time, there are parents, biological parents of children, who allow abuse in the home as well. And these children aren't being protected because, like I said, they're putting their own selfish needs and wants and desires above their child, no matter who it may be, whether it be your spouse, the mother of your children, your baby mama, your side piece, whoever it is. That child should always come first, no matter what. I don't care if you've been with that person since you was in a sixth grade and now y'all both grown and doing whatever the case may be. That child or those children should always come first. It should never cross your mind that, okay, I'm not, I know that abuse is occurring in my home, but I'm not going to report the abuse because this is the mother of my child or this is the father of my child. What you think and what seeds are you embedding in that child? What are you telling that child by ignoring the fact that mom is abusing me, or dad is abusing me, or the boyfriend is abusing me, and you're not reporting this?
Hell,
What do
it's
you think?
scary. It's very scary, like because the situation this baby was in, Zykereya was in. We're gonna keep saying her name, Fanny, just to
It's
raise that
Zykereya.
awareness. Yep,
Yes,
we
it's
this baby
Zykereya.
was in a situation she couldn't move, she couldn't tell her mama or stepdaddy. Who the hell do you run to when you're a baby and you getting beat on by both supposedly supposed to be parents? Like what the hell can you do? Sit there and you can't really sit there and do nothing but accept it and take it. Unless you're smart enough to go to the teachers and whatnot. But some of these parents be so psychological torturing to these children that they scared to even open their mouth and tell. That's why you think so many kids been through molestation so long and they don't speak out about it until they like 18 or so. Some people be scared to tell. Some people be probably embarrassed. As a kid, you got to think if you're already getting your hind whooped every single day and beat for no reason, what's going to happen when you tell? And y'all got to think it's cases. Matter of fact, Fanny, elaborate more on the case because it was more about some custody. Somebody was supposed to gain custody. They then went to defects. Elaborate more on this case.
Okay, well, the backstory with that is that the grandparents suspected that there was abuse occurring in the home with the boyfriend. But because they did not live in the home, DCF did come out to the home and investigate. And when they came out to investigate, they didn't find any signs of abuse because the mother said there was no abuse taking place. The boyfriend said no abuse was taking place. They didn't have any reports from the school or the older sibling. No one reported that there was any abuse. And the thing with that is that people need to realize that when abuse is taking place in a home, of course you're not gonna openly and say, "Yeah, I'm beating a child, I'm beating the mother of the child or the father of the child." Abuse is abuse, and for this child, for a report to be have made and nothing was done, and the people who reported the abuse were Zykereya's grandparents. I can't remember what her grandmother's name was, but her grandfather was a strong advocate in her life. His name was Henry Doyle, and they currently have custody of her older sister, and they were advocates to try to get this little girl the help that they needed. But when the DCF came out, they saw, according to them, no signs of abuse. So, with that
And,
being
and,
said,
and hold on, that leads me to I want your opinion on this, Fanny. Because you and I we are well into this space, especially when it comes to children. We do so much homework and so much research, and then we got the babies of our homes to protect their home. And we talk about parenting all the time. And so my question for you, in chat, Slim Shell, y'all, everybody in the chat, I want y'all to answer. Hey, Alyssa, thanks for coming in. I want y'all to answer this. When that type of situation occurred, Fanny, repeat the last thing you just said. You said defects came in. What happened when the defects people came to the house? What happened? What did they say? What was the result?
The final result was they didn't. They said that they didn't find any signs of abuse, and there was so they couldn't follow through, and the case was closed. They talked to the mom. They talked to the boyfriend. They talked to both children. They talked to, I believe, people at school. I'm not sure who the people were, and they didn't see any signs of abuse, and the case was closed.
All right, stop right there. Now, my question for y'all, right, is is this in fault of the defects? Are they improperly trained to the naked eye? Are they improperly
Absolutely.
trained, or could abuse be hidden so much? And y'all got to think the result was this baby losing her life, right? So if I can understand if it was just like some abuse going on in the home, and then the teachers maybe caught on to it, and it was the case. But and people you could fight that and say, but when somebody's life is ended, do you at that point do you say, okay, somebody not doing their job right because y'all supposed to saw something? This child is gone now. This child isn't here. Y'all supposed to saw something. I don't care if y'all didn't see bruising. It was something that was supposed to have been detected due to training. So do y'all think that was poorly training, or do y'all think them people found the perfect way to abuse a child without it being reconciled or recognized by defects?
I would say both, only because when you are in an abusive situation, you don't. People fail to realize that you don't automatically report that you're being abused, especially when you're talking about a 5-year-old child who is being harassed and tortured on a daily basis. Just you have to think in the mind of a child and her sister that and I agree too, Alyssa. It is also poor training as well. But you have to think in the mind of these children. You got two grown adults. One happened to be your mom. She should have been your first line of defense. She's standing there telling people, "No, my children are not in harm's way. This is a good man. He's a great father figure. There's no abuse." Then when they turn around, they ask the children, "No, we're not being abused. Case closed." See, if a worker comes out to the home and they don't do their due diligence to further investigate, like, hey, can I talk to your children in private? Then, when they talk to children in private, maybe start looking for signs of abuse. Is there any bruising? Do the children seem fearful? Look around in the house. Talk to other people. When you leave the house, talk to the neighbors. Hey, do you hear any screaming and arguing over here? Do you see the children outside playing? Do they go to school on a regular basis? Do they interact with? It's certain questions that needs to be asked. It should never start and end in the home, because we all know abuse occurs in the home, and of course nobody in the home is going to be ready to say, hey, yeah, my child is being abused, or yeah, my child is afraid of my boyfriend or their father or their mother. It's both are equally responsible. Will I say DCF is solely responsible? No. Is it poor training? Yes. That mother, her first priority should have been her children and not that man. And I'm not saying that because he was not the father of her children. I'm saying that because as a woman, as a mother, my children come first. Period. My children come first. I can love a
Now
man
hold
very.
on. Now let me stop you there, right? Um, Now when you say that, are you speaking from a fair point of usage? Would you hold your children accountable? Because that was gonna be my next argument. Is that the
What do you,
mom?
what do you mean? Explain that. Explain what you mean.
The mother of the guy that took the life of that baby, she was in
Hmm.
court fighting for him. She was in court, her saying her son was innocent. She didn't believe her son did any of this when all
No,
the
I'm not
evidence.
talking about. I'm not talking about his mother. I'm talking about Zykereya's mom. I'm talking
Absolutely,
about Zykereya's
absolutely,
mother. Her
absolutely.
mother, her job was to protect her children. She didn't do that. She failed. She put that man above her very own children. As a woman, as a mother, my main priority are my children. I
And
can love.
you know the silly part about that, right? Is you can for sure your child is always gonna be with you. You can never assure a man is always gonna be with you. So to
And that's true.
choose that man over your child is wicked.
Very. And I'm glad that you said that because she she sat up there and she lied repeatedly on this man's behalf, and she didn't feel it until it came when the Zykeria took her last breath and Michelle, the so-called mother, came back home. She waited 6 hours, guys. 6 full hours before she called and said, "Hey, my child is unresponsible." She didn't immediately come home and like, "Hey, what happened to my daughter?" Even though she knew what happened, that's not what she did. She waited 6 full hours before she called to get her daughter help. By that time, her daughter was already unalive. And that's the sad part about this story. She was so, I can't say in love, because she put that man first, that she allowed her daughter to suffer. Her daughter suffered. Her
You
little
know,
baby girl.
and I don't think people, quite understand. So just to give y'all an understanding, this wasn't a regular. Y'all know how y'all hear regular cases. Okay, this child was hit a couple times, and they saw a few bruises. This baby here was literally tortured, as the word Fanny said. She was literally tortured up until her death. I mean, it was happening every single day. Go ahead, Fanny.
She was tortured to the point to where in the story he hit her so hard and he repeatedly punched her, kicked her in her head. We're talking about a 5-year-old child. A child. We're not talking about a grown man that maybe broke into the house or he was worried about his girl cheating. We're talking about a child. How could you have that much hatred in your heart for a child? I understand that wasn't his biological child. And that's the point that I want to make. It is so many so-called grown adults out here who don't like children because they're not biologically connected to them. And I think that is so sad because at the end of the day, that's a child. That's a child. And I think too many people get it twisted. They get it lost. That's not my child. Why should I care? You should care because it's a child. You should care. You should be an advocate for any child, whether it's yours or not, whether you know that child or not. If you see a child in distress, if you see a child that's showing signs of being abused, your attitude should never be, "Oh, that's not my child. It ain't none of my business." That's a child. Children look up to adults to protect and defend them. It should never be a situation of, "That's not my child. That ain't none of my business. That's them. That don't have nothing to do with me." That's the wrong reaction you should have towards any child. As an adult, you should be appalled by the fact that a child is out here being abused. And the way Zykeria lost her life, she suffered in life and she suffered in death. And this mother did absolutely, so-called mother, I hate using that term with her because she doesn't even deserve that title. She allowed her own child to be tortured and suffer, all because she cared more about that man than her very own children. Remember, guys, she pulled her daughter out of school because she was worried about her child, the school reporting abuse. She wasn't concerned about, and she had opportunity to report, but she didn't. She didn't. She knew before she walked out the door and went to work that morning, which was October 18th, and this happened in 2018. She knew her child was being abused, and she went to work. Got a call, hey, Zykereya isn't moving, Zykereya isn't breathing. She comes home and she waits 6 whole hours to report, to get her daughter help. Just imagine that. You see your child laying down unresponsive and you wait 6 hours to call 911 to get your child help. Just imagine, guys, what was going through Zykereya's little mind. Why isn't mommy helping me? Why isn't mommy protecting me? I hope every day that her mother sits in jail that she sees her daughter's face. She hears her daughter scream. And she think about the pain in her daughter's face and her other daughter's face. Because let's be very clear. Your relationship with this man, that's over with. And you have to ask yourself, was it worth it? You knew when all this was taking place, crimes were being committed. Crimes were being committed. That relationship was over with. It's over with. And you have to ask yourself, was it worth it? Your child isn't here.
And these are the things we know. And so, for the things you know, it's 1,000 things you don't know. And so I can imagine what else that baby was going through, probably all type of sexual abuse, and it's a scary feeling. And so at the end of the day, this video and live stream was brought to y'all for awareness. And speaking of awareness, guys, be aware that there's great products such as Apex. They have Bluetooth devices. They have products such as napkins, just small everyday products. I recommend you guys check out their airport suitcases, small, light, easy to carry, and also foldable. Use promo code YO instead of O's. Use 4 zeros, get you up to 30 to 40% off. Usually we end this podcast with some great positive notes for you guys. And then and note, that guy did end up getting taken to jail for what he done. And so for the most part, we like to thank y'all for coming. Fanny, do you have any inspiration before we get up out of here?
My word of inspiration is, like I always says, your strength lies in, and remember to always put children first.
Absolutely. Shout out to the always great Fanny, man. Always putting out some great work, as well as the other ladies that do the Monday through Wednesday, Michelle and Dee. They always keep this podcast up. So with us, the whole team, seems like this podcast is going to stay floating above water. I really appreciate y'all, and I want to give y'all this one piece of mind right here. Listen. Never allow an evil entity, spirit, notion, or vibration to come and interrupt your peaceful spirits, because it can intertwine with your relationships, what you need in order to build and continue to grow your peaceful spirits that's within you. If you're a spiritual person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're not a spiritual person, keep coming around me, and I'm going to keep spitting this knowledge at the end of every podcast. I'm out of here, man. Until next time, I want y'all to have a good night. Y'all need to reach me. Y'all know how to reach me. My information is very public, man.
I got them glasses on, I'm gnarly, I'm Superman. I might just step up in the party, I'm Superman. I got the dancing like I'm Harley, I'm Superman. I got a queen with me.